there. For centuries, garlic has been renowned for its power of healing and protection. Of course, we're talking about humans, but what about chickens? Is garlic any good for chickens to eat? The short answer is a qualified yes. But let's take a deeper dive. Modern medicine has investigated many of the claims about the value of garlic to improve human health by lowering blood pressure and cholesterol, acting as an antioxidant and strengthening the immune system. So what about chickens? Poultry keepers have used garlic for decades, so surely it must do some good, doesn't it? Why do people feed garlic to chickens? They say that garlic can stimulate growth, particularly in broiler chickens, support intestinal health and boost the immune system, fight off bacteria and internal and external parasites, increase the weight of the egg white, and even make chickens' droppings less smelly. So, is there scientific evidence that garlic actually does any of that? Well, recently there has been a lot of interest in the use of plant derivatives as feed additives to improve growth, health, or performance of farmed livestock. These feed additives may be called phytobiotics, phytogenic feed additives, botanicals, or nutraceuticals, but they're really just fancy names for something that comes from plants. And one of the most studied of these is garlic. Garlic contains many bioactive substances. This is just a few of them. Perhaps the most important is diallyl thiosulfide, commonly called allicin, because why not? Allicin is not actually present in the garlic clove. When the garlic is crushed or chopped, that releases an enzyme called allinase, which very quickly converts the precursor Allicin to allicin. But although allicin has been researched extensively and shown to have several biological properties, it's very unstable. At room temperature, it decays in a few hours, and it disappears in minutes when heated or in the acid environment of the stomach, including a chicken's stomach. But the story of garlic is more complex than just measuring the effect of one substance from a fresh garlic clove. As we mentioned, many of those other substances that are in raw garlic or are produced from the original substances are also biologically active. And apart from fresh garlic, there are different kinds of garlic preparations available. As we know, the allicin produced in fresh garlic after crushing disappears quite quickly, so fresh garlic really does mean freshly crushed. Dried or powdered garlic preparations are mostly manufactured as flavourings, although they do contain some good nutrients such as vitamin C and iron. There are no studies to show any health benefits from eating dried or powdered garlic. Garlic oils contain no allicin. They may contain allyl sulfides or other phytobiotics, but there is no standardization of what they might contain or how much. Many of the products on the market are mostly vegetable oil. Aged garlic extract has received a lot of attention. It is produced by aging garlic cloves in a solvent, then extracting the water-soluble organosulfur compounds. These are stable and have been extensively shown to be biologically active. So there's a lot of interest in the poultry and egg industry in using various garlic-derived phytochemicals to improve feed efficiency and reduce the numbers of pathogenic bacteria while avoiding the health risks of the antibiotics that have been relied on in the past. But so far, the results have been unclear because there are so many different garlic-derived preparations with different bioactive compounds at different concentration and degrees of bioavailability, and their interaction with other feedstuffs and the biology of the chickens themselves is as yet poorly understood. So where does that leave the backyard chicken keeper? Well, it gives us an idea that there's something in garlic that's good for chickens, but it's tricky to make the most of it. If you grow your own or can buy fresh, untreated garlic and crush it within a few minutes of feeding it to your chickens, they probably will benefit from it. Unless they've been raised to it, the chickens might be reluctant to voluntarily eat the crushed garlic. You can put it in their water. The frequently mentioned amount is about 1 to 4 cloves, that's the little cloves, not bulbs, in anywhere between a litre and a gallon of water. But replace the garlicky water with fresh water within a day or so. And I think it would be wise to provide the chickens with an alternate water supply as well. The last thing you want to do is have your chickens refuse to drink and end up dehydrated. Water is very important to chickens' welfare, and being thirsty for even a few hours is bad news. So if you're putting garlic in their water, until you're sure they will drink it, have some water without garlic also available. But, does consuming garlic make their eggs taste of garlic? Believe it or not, there is some scientific data about this, and the answer is no. In fact, the study found that although people thought the eggs might taste a little different, they thought the eggs had a milder flavour, and they actually preferred the eggs from the chickens who had been eating garlic. This study also found that eating garlic reduced the smell of the chicken's manure. But personally, I don't think that's of great concern to us backyard chicken keepers, because I believe that your chickens deserve to live in a clean, fresh environment, not packed together in a room with the odour of manure. So, do I feed garlic to my chickens? Well, I hadn't tried it until recently, so I thought I'd give it a go. I had some garlic cloves left over from planting for my next year's crop, so I crushed up a few, and I wondered whether the chickens would even eat them. To give it the best chance of the chickens actually eating the garlic, freshly crushed, I chose some of their favourite treats, mealworms, and I rolled the mealworms in the garlic to see whether the flavour of the garlic would put the chickens off. Well, they scoffed the mealworms just like they normally did. And one of my chickens even voluntarily ate a little piece of garlic, so that was encouraging. So I crushed up some more and mixed it with some water. There's probably 1 whole garlic clove in about a litre of water here, so that's a pretty high concentration. It didn't seem to worry the chickens much. I imagine that at this point Kiko was just not particularly thirsty, was really looking for some more mealworms rather than a drink, but the other chickens didn't seem to be put off by the taste of the garlic in their water at all. So it seems that even though my chickens have never tasted garlic before, they don't mind the flavour. So that was pretty easy to do because I had the garlic available and I was just filling up their water anyway. Oh yes, and one article published in the Medical Journal of Australia supported the use of garlic as a protective public health measure against vampires. This article has not been peer-reviewed, so its reliability is uncertain, and this topic is definitely outside my area of expertise. But I'd love to hear any of your experiences with vampire chickens. Meanwhile, enjoy your chickens. Thanks for watching. See you next time.